What's up, Marks? Welcome back to the Keeping It Kayfabe podcast. I am Greg.
And I'm Dustin Dynamite, and I'm ready to fucking bring some heat tonight.
Well, before we get into the G1, Raw, Dynamite, all that shit, we got to address something right off the bat because you have some shit on your chest that you need to get off.
All right, so, of course, there's a CM Punk returns to AEW, and the dirt sheets are out, and they're saying that CM Punk has threatened to quit AEW, that he doesn't want to push young talent, that he doesn't get along with anybody in the back, and he's a narcissist and whatever, blah, blah,
Who didn't
blah,
know
blah,
that?
Blah. I'm going to start this off by saying CM Punk is a character that Phil Brooks plays on a television show called AEW Dynamite. Let's remember that, okay? This is wrestling, and kayfabe still exists.
It does.
Let's see.
CM Punk knows how to keep it.
Yes, he does, because he's a professional, and he's the best in the world. One of the best in the world. All right, so first thing everyone's saying is, oh, Triple H was right about CM Punk. Everything Triple H said was right. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. What has happened to every single WWE star that has left WWE? They slander the fuck out of him. They even did it to Stone Cold. Yep. When Stone Cold left, they said he took his ball and went home. And you know why Stone Cold left? Because he didn't want to put Brock Lesnar over with no fucking build. Oh, is that a good reason? I would say it's probably a good reason, right?
Although Stone Cold does say that he regrets that decision, which
he does
probably.
But he also works for WWE again, so
exactly. So he says that shit.
Let's talk about why Punk left WWE. He left WWE because he didn't want to fucking put part-timers over like The Rock and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he wanted to put people over like Daniel Bryan, people who were, the future stars of the company.
So let's bring it back to this whole story about Punk not wanting to put over young talent. He came to AEW and said that's what he wanted to do. When he won the title, he said he didn't want to go on a long title reign because he wants to push the talent that's in AEW. That's why he went to AEW. Punk plays a character. Every feud in AEW has referenced Punk being a selfish, narcissist dude that doesn't get along with anybody in the back. That has been his gimmick in every promotion he's been in.
Yep.
People forget his WWE run, 95% of that was a work. It was a work.
Hey, guess what, people? The pipe bomb was a work.
It was a work. This is all building to All Out, which is why we're not having
now, that's not to say that CM Punk didn't feel some of those things true, but it was a work. He did talk with developmental about it and basically told them what he was going to say.
The best works are the ones that have some little bits of truth to them.
Exactly.
The problem is these dirt sheet people like to go and take these little bits of truth and turn it into a bunch of stupid shit and then attack somebody's character. And this dude has been a fucking solid guy for wrestling since his early days in Ring of Honor. He didn't want to go to he didn't even really want to go to WWE in the very beginning because he felt like he was going to sell out if he went to WWE.
Yeah, he was actually very loyal to Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I mean, so come on, man. Let's stop the fucking CM Punk slander right fucking now. Cuz I'm not having it. We're not going to have that. And for the people that are saying that AEW is better off with CM Punk, go fuck yourselves, okay?
Yeah, we've sure seen that. I wasn't even interested in a fucking product at all these past few weeks.
I was this close to being like, you know what?
Part of that was because I've been watching the G1, but for the most part of it, most of it sucks. It's just not entertaining.
Are you looking forward to Dynamite next week and seeing what happens next with CM Punk?
Yep.
Exactly. It's like it says in the title, finally AEW is worth watching again.
Exactly.
CM Punk's back, Kenny Omega's back, and you have something to look forward to now. Stop fucking put some respect on CM Punk's name.
It's not a knock on the other talent that's there. it's just saying that they aren't big enough names yet, or their characters aren't written good enough to make anyone give a shit about them.
AEW was hurting.
I mean, look at Moxley, for example. Every week, what do? They have him fucking talk in the back in some boiler room or some fucking locker room, wherever it is. He's wandering around the fucking arena. And he cuts a promo on somebody that nobody even fucking knows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. John Brown, tonight, me and you's going to go around. I know you've been good on the... Nobody fucking cares, because guess what? Nobody knows who John Brown or whoever the fuck is.
Yeah. And if you're the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world, you should probably have your fucking interim champion fighting people that, have some kind of backing.
And considering the amount of time that Punk was out, they didn't need a fucking interim champion to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they could have just kept Punk as the champ and had him coming out, cutting a couple promos here and there while he was recovering. But you mentioned Moxley, so all of a sudden, there's been this new push in the last day or so saying that Moxley is the best member of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Would you like me to pull up the memes?
Yeah, let's pull the memes up. Let's read these memes.
Here's the first one. That when you showed me these while I was at work.
Yeah.
And I was dumbfounded. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because it's just ridiculous. Here's the first one.
I'll read it. Moxley has completely eclipsed Roman and Seth as a performer this year. It's really not even close. He's undoubtedly the best out of the 3 by a country mile, in my opinion.
Well, at Caster Gun X, to you, I say you're a fucking mark and you're stupid. If that's what you actually fucking think. What the fuck do you see that is better than anything Roman and Seth are doing right now?
Dude, Seth hasn't even, I can't remember the last time Seth's really won a big match. Because you know what he does? He puts people over. That's what he does, and he doesn't have to win. And he's still one of the biggest stars in WWE right now.
And he doesn't have a stupid fucking theme like Moxley neither.
Wow, dang. And Roman Reigns, okay, look, you know what? The guy fucking... They filled up half a fucking football stadium for SummerSlam. Is John Moxley fucking doing that?
Nope.
No. Sorry, I don't care what you think about. I'm not the biggest Roman Reigns fan, but I'm not going to sit here and be stupid and say that fucking John Moxley is bigger than the fucking Roman Reigns, the fucking number 1 guy in WWE right now. Get out of here.
Here is the second meme. This one was ridiculous too. Well, it's not even a meme. It's just a tweet, I guess. But
yeah, they're tweets. Yeah, okay. So Seth Rollins is not the best worker in wrestling. There's a case to be made for WWE, but definitely not the wider wrestling world. As for Roman, I genuinely think Mox is more of a draw, even if the numbers don't technically show it, because think about it.
If the numbers don't fucking show it, then that means he's not a bigger draw, you stupid fucks.
I mean, are you fucking kidding me right now? And don't get me wrong, I like Moxley. And I don't really mind. I know that he's been taking on all comers with his interim belt and stuff. And he's been, on TV every week. But these are asinine fucking statements that people are making. Bigger draw? He's not a bigger draw. Like I just said, Roman Reigns is filling up fucking half football stadiums that hold fucking 80,000 people. He's putting 50,000 butts in the seats. It ain't fucking... John Moxley ain't fucking doing that, man.
I can tell you this. I work around a lot of different people who talk about wrestling. Do you want to know who's talking about John Moxley? Guess how many? None of them. You know why? Because he's fucking almost irrelevant. And I like Moxley. I do. Actually, in New Japan, I think he's fucking 1,000 times better than AEW. But AEW makes him out to be like... His whole gimmick is just him spouting off that he's a badass and he'll fight anyone. Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. And he puts on some good matches. He entertains me, but he's not, he is definitely the number 3 member of
enough
S.H.I.E.L.D.
with the fucking blood already. Oh my God.
Yeah, god damn. Fucking 1 minute into the match, he's got to fucking slice his fucking head open. He's running around with a fucking crimson mask.
So, yeah, Kenny being back is going to be. I mean, we're going to touch on Dynamite. We'll talk about all of that, but yeah. So you're basically over wrestling fans, is what you were.
Yeah, I'm just tired, and not all wrestling fans. Like there are
Of
definitely
course, we
some.
like wrestling fans. I mean, this is a wrestling show, and we're wrestling fans, but
Yeah,
we're mostly
but
talking about the marks, the ones who blindly follow AEW like it's the next coming of greatness or something without any merit to back it.
yeah, it's just like we can enjoy all the wrestling promotions, okay? But let's have some realistic fucking like, you know, thoughts about things. Like WWE is number 1. No matter what you want to think, say, whatever, it is the fucking pinnacle of wrestling.
Yep.
If that is where the best people are, and it right now it's getting better with fucking Triple H in charge. AEW is number 2, and then everything else is below that. And maybe
You can
you
say
know,
whatever you want about, people try to say, oh, well, Cody Rhodes went back to WWE because he wanted to fulfill, his father's legacy and all this other nonsense. It's not that. The reason Cody Rhodes went back to WWE is because he saw how big of a clusterfuck AEW was becoming because of Tony Khan running it like a fucking fantasy team, basically.
and he's reeled that in. He has a creative team now because you know what? And I said this I made a TikTok about this. Triple H is the best thing that ever happened to AEW. And I'll tell you why. Since Greg went out on me. You're
No,
muted.
I just had to blow my nose.
Oh.
I'm still here.
So Triple H, so first, half of Triple H's NXT is in AEW right now. And also with Triple H taking over, competition breeds greatness. And as soon as Triple H took over, look what happened. Punk is back, Omega's back, Dynamite's making an effort. I think everybody was really on cruise control. Really, when Punk left, AEW went on cruise control. They were just throwing shit out there, and they didn't really give a fuck because they didn't really have competition, and it was hurting their ratings.
Marcus, to comment on some of your comments in the chat here, I do think Kenny helps with the creative. I think CM Punk actually helps a lot with the creative because he's been in the big time and he knows what it takes to put on a proper wrestling show. Yeah, I don't even think, honestly, Marcus, I don't even think it appears that Moxley's more of a draw. I don't think anyone out there really that's not AEW Mark believes that Moxley is a bigger draw than half the WWE roster, honestly.
I mean, Roman, and if you're comparing him to Roman Reigns, that's just dumb.
The Miz is a bigger fucking draw than John Moxley. I'm sorry,
you.
but it's true. He's got his own fucking TV show. He's a wrestler on WWE. He's a bigger draw than John Moxley.
Fucking Logan Paul is probably a bigger draw than John Moxley right now. And I'm really not trying to talk bad about Moxley, but you wrestling fans make it fucking real hard.
That's the thing, man. It's like blind fans will turn you against somebody that you actually like because it makes it hard to like them because they come up with these wild theories. Like saying he's a better worker than Roman.
Yeah.
Is insane. Look at where Roman was. I mean, they shoved Roman down our fucking throats for years. And it paid off in the end because he's he's probably the biggest star in wrestling right now as far as like, draws go and things of that nature. And Roman puts on good matches. Hate the guy if you want, but when he's in the fucking ring, he's good.
Yeah,
It's
finally.
not like,
he wasn't
like
at first,
shit.
but he is now. And honestly, like if you really want to get into workers, Seth Rollins is the best fucking worker in the WWE in wrestling, period, because the dude literally just puts people over now. He doesn't have to have a title. He doesn't have to win. The dude can literally put on fucking spectacular matches with anybody he gets in the ring with and put them over. And that's what he does. And he's the best at it. Hands down.
All right, so you want to jump into Raw here since we're going to discuss Raw and Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have the results loaded up, but I do.
Okay. I'll go off you.
So the show started out with Judgment Day coming out and talking about the fucking Mysterios and Edge and all that other bullshit that nobody really gives a shit about. Yeah,
I hate that faction so much.
It ultimately ended up with Balor doing a coup de grace on Rey Mysterio with a chair on him. You know, ooh.
Okay. And but we will get Edge and Damian Priest, I think, next week.
Yeah, Nikki Ash came out and fucking challenged Alexa Bliss and Asuka, I guess her and someone else, Dana Brooke, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, that was for the tag team tournament.
Yeah, the tag team tournament that nobody gives a shit about. It's sad, but it's true.
I mean, I kind of care. I like this new Toxic Attraction that was on SmackDown tonight, but we'll get into that.
Well, I am glad that you like that. I wish I was with you, but I'm not. Just don't care. Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky's all back, and I still don't care. There was a backstage segment with Austin Theory. Him and
don't forget about the hand that came out when oh no, that was Dexter, or that was no, he was fighting with Dolph. There was a hand in the door.
Oh, when they were backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't see the hand. Everyone's saying that it's the Fiend, but
I don't know.
I watched like a scene of it later on TikTok, but
everything is the Fiend.
Of course, because everybody wants the Fiend to come back. We got a tag match after that: The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa versus Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. Miz and Ciampa win that. It wasn't really anything spectacular. Ali and Cedric Alexander are both good performers, but
yeah, it was a decent match, but
it was an all right match. Then we get to stuff that was actually good. Drew McIntyre comes out, cuts a promo, pretty good promo actually. I thought it was really good. He talked about basically how he fucking got fired from the company, came back, things of that nature. Because I guess people are trying to say that he's not worthy or something.
Special treatment.
Getting special treatment.
And KO came out too and cut a promo with him.
Oh yeah, KO comes out and cuts a promo on Drew McIntyre.
Puts the whole WWE on notice. Said he's coming for
everyone on notice. Said he was coming after every fucking belt.
Fucking national treasure. That guy's a fucking national treasure, man.
He is a national treasure. He said, and now he's a prize fighter again. So
that's right.
But actually, I like that. I liked when he was doing the prize fighter thing.
But that was a good ass fucking promo between the two of them.
It was really good.
And it culminated into an awesome fucking match.
It did. McIntyre, or no, it was a no DQ because they both got the Usos interfered, beat the shit out of both of them.
Yep.
What do you think's gonna happen with that though? But I don't want to just skip past that. How does KO fit into that picture?
I don't know, because you got Karrion Kross too, who's like
which put everybody
on
McIntyre
notice
also.
Too. Yeah, so I don't know, but I think KO is going to definitely be put into the title picture because Triple H does like him, and he was huge in NXT. So, I mean, he was huge after NXT.
His big attack on McIntyre was that he was asking him, he's like, "What are you now?" He's like, "You're always changing up what you are." He's like, "Come out with a sword, come out."
Yeah,
he's like, I've always been Kevin Owens, the same guy. That's basically what it was.
And it's probably going to be his go-to from now on, because I think he's kind of done with the goofy shit for now, and they're going to take him a little more serious.
Which is good. I like him better when he's
more serious,
not being goofy. So yeah, shit, lost my train of thought. The Usos came out and attacked them. That pretty much ended that segment. They had a video of Seth Rollins injuring Riddle on Raw again.
Yeah.
Riddle gives an exclusive interview. I didn't actually finish all of Raw, so some of this I'll just
Well,
be reading.
I actually watched most of that. So.
I tried to get through it today, but I ended up getting busy with something. But Riddle ended up coming. I did see where he came out and attacked.
Yeah, they ended
Seth.
up fighting. Because they thought he was like in his house or something. Well, Seth was saying that he was in his mom's basement.
So I got to ask you,
like,
you're
nah.
a big Riddle fan. How
Yeah.
are you happy to see Riddle come back?
Yeah, of course. And I like that they putting him up against Rollins because, like I said, Rollins is the best fucking worker in wrestling right now. It's not even close. And they're gonna put on some fucking spectacular matches once.
Better than Ospreay?
I mean, as far as worker goes,
Gotcha.
He's gonna help put Riddle over. I mean, so gotta love that.
Moving on, we head to video hyping up the match between Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles for their United States Championship later in the night. Next up, we have Veer Mahan versus Bo Keller.
I didn't even see that. That had to have been a squash match.
I think it was a squash match. Beaux. Bo.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyway, your winner is Veer Mahan. What do you think of Veer Mahan? Because I honestly don't give a fuck about him.
I don't know. He doesn't really make sense in the total picture of what's going on in WWE. So I just kind of.
I feel like he's a guy that should be part of a faction, but he's just by himself, or at least have some type of manager with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was feuding with the Mysterios for a minute there, but then now he's just kind of like.
Like, what is he?
In oblivion. He's like a strong Indian man.
That's a gimmick now. Strong Indian man.
I guess. That's one of those. I think that's one of those guys that's gonna have to get cleaned up by Triple H, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Gonna have to give him a better story. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's a strong, powerful, like crazy guy. I mean, he has a place. I just don't. Right now, doesn't make any sense. He doesn't fit in anywhere in what's going on.
Yeah, he reminds me of someone that would have been like one of Mr. Fuji's guys back in the day during the 80s and 90s with like Warlord and Barbarian and all those people.
Yeah, definitely.
Marcus says in WWE, ethnicities or characters. You ain't lying about that. That is true. All right, moving on. Back from the break, we go backstage with Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Kai Mai. Says that she'll win her singles match later tonight. Well, guess what? No one's going to be watching, so feel free.
Yeah.
And they're going to win the women's tag team championships, blah, blah, blah.
Which they probably
Next up, we have the United States Championship match. Bobby Lashley, the champion, versus AJ Styles.
This was a good match, but it wasn't the best match of the night.
Well, it looks like Bobby Lashley picked up the win.
Yeah, and I think
Styles went for the phenomenal forearm, and then Lashley speared him.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why I didn't like the match as much as I should have is because I wanted AJ Styles to win. But yeah, no.
You want to talk about someone who's a worker and puts people over? There you go, right there.
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
There's another good
the credit
one. Yeah.
he deserves.
Definitely.
Because he should be fucking top star of the company almost at all times. But all right, so next up we have Dakota Kai versus Dana Brooke. Did you even watch it?
I did. Well, I forgot about it because I was driving back from or I was driving to somewhere on a long car ride, so I had this on in the car. So
well, allow me to refresh your memory. Dakota Kai won that match.
No way, really? I wouldn't have guessed that she would have won.
What do you think of her new hair?
I mean, I don't know anything about her
on each side.
I mean, her hair's cool. I don't know anything about her because I wasn't really watching NXT or anything before
she's not bad, but like I don't know, she just
a lot of people were like so hyped when she came back, and I was just like, okay, I mean, cool, but whatever.
So is this our main event? Theory versus Dolph Ziggler?
Yes, it was.
So let me get this right. All right, Raw is getting better. I will say that, but why would you fucking have your championship match before Dakota Kai versus Dana Brooke and before
That's
Austin Theory
what
or
they do
Theory
with the
versus Dolph
U.S. title
Ziggler.
every time. That's what they do every time. It's always like this middle mat. It's like the middle of the. It's like the middle of the long ass 3 hour fucking show. They throw a title match
That should
in
have been the
there.
fucking main event.
Well, I mean, look how many times we got Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Before Vince was out. I mean, it was every fucking week we were getting that. No matter what was going on, what else was going on the show. I mean, it's not.
So
It was a good match. It wasn't a bad match, and they're building. They're building towards something with him and Dolph Ziggler, but it didn't
I
need to
like
be the.
Theory. I mean, Theory's good. I think he's interesting. He's young.
Yeah,
As long as he keeps his nose clean, he'll do well and he'll be a big star.
definitely.
And he probably needs to pack on a little more muscle, but it looks like he's bulking up, honestly. Because when you first saw him compared to how he is now, he's looking a little bigger.
Yeah, probably hitting the juice.
All right, moving on to AEW Dynamite. We'll probably spend a lot of time on this show because had a lot of things happen.
And it was probably the best show of the week to me.
I don't know about that because you had the G1 final.
Well, I mean, besides New Japan, if we take New Japan out of it, it
Well,
was definitely.
before we jump into AEW, actually, I want to discuss that. So the G1 Climax is over,
Yep.
and your winner is Kazuchika Okada. You're not happy with this.
No, man, and I've seen a lot of people say the same thing that I've said, but you kind of explained it to me how they don't really let foreigners win the G1, but I mean, Will Ospreay should have won the fucking G1.
Will Ospreay will win a G1. I can assure you of that. He's probably going to be the next foreigner to win a G1. But like I was telling you, man, there's only ever been one other fucking foreigner to win a G1, and that was Kenny Omega. And it was a big deal when he did it because it's just something that doesn't happen.
I mean, then why not give it to like Naito or
See that's the thing. Well, like I told you, the reason they gave it to Okada is because they felt like he got fucked in last year's G1. Because last year's G1 final was Kota Ibushi, who I think was originally meant to win it and be the first 3-time winner, like 3 times in a row. But Okada, Ibushi got hurt, and Okada won by default. So like the G1 final is always a big deal. So to have the G1 final end like that with a fucking default winner was kind of, anticlimactic to say the least. But
I mean, I just felt like Ospreay put on the best matches through the whole thing.
he was incredible.
His promo before the final was fucking amazing. Like the match, I mean, dude. But I saw another TikTok, and they were explaining how King's Road storytelling works in Japan. Or they call it King's Road or something like that, and how like how Ospreay was doing the finishers, like the Tanahashi finisher and the AJ Styles finisher and the Omega finisher. So it made me feel a little bit better about the storytelling because that's what I love about New Japan. But I still think Ospreay should have won.
Well, you'll be much happier when he wins it at Wrestle Kingdom. Because I mean, do you think it's going to be Okada versus Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom, or do you think that belt's going to change hands before then, or possibly Ospreay challenges Okada for his briefcase because that's happened before in New Japan.
So they get so they get like a Money in the Bank thing for winning the G1.
Yeah, so basically the winner of the G1 gets a briefcase that gives them the right to challenge the champion at Wrestle Kingdom, which is their WrestleMania.
Oh.
So, but oftentimes the champion has to defend that belt before then because Wrestle Kingdom's not until January.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, that was the other thing that I made me think that he was going to win was all the little, like, towards the end of the tournament, there was a lot of like back and forth between Ospreay and Jay White. So I was thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna push Osprey to get that belt. But
Actually, Marcus, the person that I think is going to take over Bullet Club in the near future, this is a shot in the dark here. I think Juice Robinson is going to be the next leader of Bullet Club. I
really,
think I do. I think they're at some point they're going to turn on Jay White, and I think it'll probably be Juice because the leader of Bullet Club is always a foreigner, always. Like I don't think there's ever been a Japanese leader of Bullet Club.
well, Tama's not Japanese.
No, but Tama is not going back to Bullet Club, not for a while.
So is Will Ospreay a face or a heel?
He's
Or is
like
he one of those that rides that fine line?
he's definitely a heel, but the problem is he's so popular that
Because I was starting to think, like, especially after his promo, I was like, wait, is Ospreay a face? Because he's kind of cutting a face promo right now. But I mean,
well, the it's weird like that because sometimes that'll happen with those guys. They'll cut a promo like Kenta is one of the weirdest about it actually because Kenta will sometimes seem like a face, but he's definitely a fucking heel. You should have seen the hate that guy got whenever he came back and turned on Shibata. That was
because he went to because Kenta went to WWE for a little bit, right?
Yeah, and then he got injured a lot, and WWE doesn't know how to use Japanese wrestlers, so.
Yeah. Well, did you watch that match I told you to watch between Gunther and Shinsuke?
Not yet. I'll get to it though. Did you watch Kenny Omega versus Okada 1?
I have not.
I will admit I'm asking more of you on that because that's an hour-long match, but
I know. Actually, I thought about watching it today, but my kid wouldn't go down for a nap, so I didn't watch it because I want to actually watch it. So, and I know it's an hour long.
yeah, I think Tama Tonga might start his own group, honestly.
I mean, what are they? The Gorillas of Destruction?
Gorillas of Destiny, him and Tama Tonga.
Yeah. So.
Or him and Tonga Loa, his brother.
Gods. They're gods.
Yep. G-O-D.
I think I honestly, I mean, this is my first G1 and really my first dabble into New Japan, but I think I honestly would have rather seen Tama Tonga versus Jay White. I mean Will Ospreay.
Yeah, but it's Japan, man. You got to have a
no,
Japanese
I mean
guy
you gotta have
for
Okada.
yeah.
I mean, I totally get it, but has Tama Tonga and Will Ospreay had wrestled before?
I think so, but not. This is a new Tama Tonga. The Tama Tonga of old was
not as intense.
Yeah, not as intense and not given as much, leeway to be a star.
I'm not gonna lie, I was marking out when he was winning. I was like, because I didn't expect him to win his block, and he fucking did, and I was like, fuck yeah.
But overall, so now that you've seen an entire G1, what do you think of the quality of the matches that it delivers?
It's the best wrestling. It's the best wrestling you can get. And honestly, once you understand the way Japanese wrestling works and the storytelling and the way, there's not a bunch of segments like there is in American promotions like WWE and AEW. It's it's all wrestling. They do the storytelling in the ring and then they cut the promos after the matches, and that does it for me.
They treat it more like it's a real sporting event.
Yeah,
because you have
that's a good way to put it. I didn't think it like that, but yeah, they have the press scrums like they do in soccer matches at the end, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed New Japan, and it's probably my favorite thing going right now.
It's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. I don't know, man. I just have a feeling that here lately at Wrestle Kingdom, they've been doing double main events. They've been doing the 2-night things.
like
And
WrestleMania.
yeah, but the thing is like the champions had to defend the title on like 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
So like last year, you had someone fighting for the title, and then the next night, someone else was fighting for it. So,
Well, I'm definitely fully invested now. And like I said, it's probably my favorite. AEW might take over with Punk and Kenny Omega being back, but right now New Japan is number one.
well, as you know, I've been doing my own G1 on WWE
Yeah.
2K22 Universe mode, and the winner of my G1 ended up being Tomohiro Ishii of all people. He
Well,
went undefeated.
undefeated, huh?
Him and Kenta both went undefeated, and he took Kenta out. Even Kenta with his overall 100 rating from Stat Boost. And then get this. I don't know if I told you about this. So I gave him the briefcase because he won the G1, right? So
And you said he immediately cashed it in,
yeah,
right?
I ended the stream and I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna, get this to the next show and then, turn this off. But no, this dude fucking, I go to skip to the next show and it shows another match. I'm like, oh shit, he's cashing in right now. So he cashes in on Jay White and wins the fucking belt from him. So Ishii's my new champion.
I guess he's got all the fucking boosts right now, huh?
He's just unstoppable, man. That vertical drop brainbuster.
Crazy.
That's true. New Japan does show cameramen like a sport. WWE does hide them like that, which I I don't really like because WWE has very much embraced that this is a show and that's what we're going to give you. We're not trying to make it seem like anything but.
Oh yeah, it's sports. Well, no, they can say wrestler now and wrestling again.
Good.
So.
And title belt and stuff like that.
Did you notice that that's was Drew McIntyre's big thing in his promo?
Oh yeah.
I'm a wrestler. We're wrestlers. Like, God damn it, yes, you are fucking.
I wonder how Vince feels about that.
He's probably fucking rolling over at his house, throwing shit at the fucking wall, throwing up and crying.
Well, AEW is your thing, so I'm gonna let you take the helm on this.
All right. Yeah. So we opened up.
I'm gonna get water. So.
All right. Well, we opened up with CM Punk coming down to the ring and cutting a fucking great promo. And then it was interrupted by none other than Jon Moxley. And my first thing that I loved about AEW or about Punk's promo was his snow angels that he did while he waited for Moxley to come to the ring. Because, Moxley's always wandering around the arena. You never know where he is. And it took him, 5 minutes to get to the ring. Then he also mentioned, Punk also mentioned that he didn't want to punch Moxley because he'd probably start bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
Which was fucking great.
Did you see when he acted like he was going to jump into the crowd and he was like, oh, no.
Yeah, he was like, nah, because that's rumored how he actually hurt his foot was when he did that. And I forgot about the big, which has caused the big controversy that everyone's talking shit about fucking CM Punk, is he called out fucking Hangman Adam Page was the first thing he did. Sat down in the ring,
Adam Page,
laid the belt down and told him, come down to the ring right now. And apparently, supposedly, that was off script and Adam Page was in the back eating, so he couldn't come out. And Punk wasn't supposed to do that and blah, 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 blah. Because, people wouldn't know. Some of these fucking fans wouldn't know a fucking work if it punched him in the balls. But anyways.
I bet he went to the back after that thing Hangman Adam Page came up to him with his mouth full of food. And he was like, "You motherfucker almost spit out my food when you did that shit."
Well, one of the Dark Order guys tweeted out a picture of Adam Page in the back eating, and I forgot it was some caption about Punk, but it was funny. And it's like, come on, man. You're like, can you not see it? And everyone's like, yeah, don't you remember when Adam Page said something about Punk when they were feuding? And I'm like, yeah, have you ever watched fucking wrestling before, you fucking idiots?
That's
Like,
AEW fans in a nutshell,
it's
Dustin.
a fucking work. It's a work.
Just like MJF.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot to mention that in my rant in the beginning, but this is all building towards that. MJF is coming. Now. Guess what's coming out today? All these reports about MJF is returning to TV very soon, which is why they fucking scrapped Moxley and Punk at All Out, because there's something bigger on the horizon. Because we've been fucking working towards a fucking storyline. Because wrestling, as much as I love it, is a fucking TV show that's written. And these guys are characters that they play on fucking TV. But anyways.
Now, are these characters sometimes a reflection of their real self? Absolutely.
Of course.
That's what makes them good. That's how you know you got a good character, is when it reflects your actual person. But that doesn't mean that that's 100% who they are. All these fucking people who love Eddie, I don't know, Eddie Kingston might not be a work. He might just really be that big of a dipshit, but
I mean, I've seen his stuff. That I've seen TikToks and videos of him like off script, and he seems like just another guy, dude.
He probably is. He's probably a cool dude.
He seems like a cool dude. I seen him cut a promo on a cookie before. It was funny. You know, he's just another guy. These are fucking human beings. He
smells like onions.
But his eyebrows, though, the fucking
his eyebrows are clean.
But yeah, so we got the fucking promo, and Moxley comes down.
That's a good promo, by the way. Great promo for a comeback promo.
Oh yeah, definitely. Then they started fucking going at it, and couldn't be broken up.
I had a little bit of problems with them going at it, because it seemed to,
like, it kind of went on a little longer than
it did. The longer it went on, the more you're like, okay, there's not, any.
Yeah, there was definitely a few times there where I was like, all right, come on.
It's like, are these guys laughing?
I mean, it did seem like
CM Punk was laughing.
Yeah, they were definitely. It definitely went on just a little bit too long, but they were trying to build that, like, that, oh, these guys can't keep their hands off each other till next week.
So let me ask you a question. There was a Powerhouse Hobbs thing backstage after this, and he's claiming that he doesn't like losing, but apparently Ricky Starks does. What the fuck is this all about? I know, is it all have to do with him losing the match to Hook?
I guess.
He said he claims he breaks necks.
He breaks backs and necks.
Oh yeah, he breaks backs and necks. Which
I also do that as well.
And he's got something for the factory too. That's what he said.
Yeah, so he has a match. I think next week he has a match with Ricky Starks. And then after that, I guess he's gonna feud with the factory. I don't know.
So how did you like all the dragon plugging that they were doing on this episode of Dynamite?
I mean, it was their. I mean, they are owned by Warner Brothers, which is HBO. So they were definitely plugging the fuck out of that new show, which I'm excited about. So
you got Dan, the Dragon Bryan Danielson,
and the Dragon Slayer, and they had Ricky the Steamboat Dragon, or whatever.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
The Dragon Steamboat as the guest timekeeper, whatever the fuck that means. Looked to me like he was just sitting in the fucking crowd.
All the guest timekeeper means is that you get the closest seat to the ring.
I guess so. And then yeah, and then we got a pretty fucking what I thought was a good fucking match between Daniel Bryan and Daniel Garcia.
It was a good match. I felt like it went a little long. Honestly, I realized this was a 2 or 3 falls match, but they could have got some of those falls a lot quicker.
So I already knew it was going to be one of those hour-long matches. There was one thing I didn't like though, and this happened in their previous match, is the hold that Daniel Garcia puts on Daniel Bryan to make him pass out. It's not a fucking chokehold. It's like a crossface. So it's like he passes out from the pain because he doesn't
Well, and
tap.
here that was the part of the match that I had a serious fucking problem with, and it was so fucking stupid. So let me get this right. He puts Daniel Bryan in this fucking move that he calls the Dragon Killer, the Dragon Tamer. I don't know, the
Yeah.
fucking Dragon Slayer, something. Oh, the Dragon Tamer. That's what he calls it. So he puts him in this hold. Daniel Bryan doesn't tap because obviously he doesn't tap. So he passes out again, and that's how Garcia gets a fall. So you mean to tell me that I'm expected to believe that if somebody puts a hold on someone else and they immediately make them pass out, that they're not going to just flip them over and go ahead and get the second fall, 1, 2, 3 after that? It's fucking stupid, man. They should not have made him pass out from it.
Well, they did the 10 count thing afterwards. They did the, because he was out, like the 1, 2. But yeah, and honestly, that kind of hold wouldn't really make you
But
pass
that's the
out.
thing. That's the thing that doesn't make sense. So you mean to tell me that you're gonna, instead of covering this guy 1, 2, 3, you're gonna take a 10 count instead?
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't make fucking sense.
yeah, honestly, that should have been like the second fall or the fall to win the match. I mean, he didn't win the match, but Marcus said he's a big Garcia mark.
See, what they should have done is they should have made Garcia get some type of cheap fall, whether it be like a small package, a roll up, whatever. Somehow, some way, he got a quick fall that way. Danielson gets surprised, and then what they do is they make it seem like he's going to get the second fall by making Bryan Danielson pass out from that Dragon Tamer. Then what do you know? Daniel Bryan manages to get up by the 10 count because, passing out doesn't qualify as tapping out. So the referee has to do a 10 count. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense. But no, they fucking used that to get a fall, which was stupid.
Especially the first one. It's because it's like, okay, well, this guy was just passed out and now he's going to wrestle a whole another fucking 45-minute match. Like, come on.
The better storytelling would have been to have Daniel Bryan get up at that 10 count and be like, he just refuses to, be beat.
But, yeah. But, AEW doesn't always book everything great. All right, so we had that.
Well, Daniel Bryan ends up winning with like a cheap. How did he? I know he got one fall by like reversing a move and like getting a pinfall off of that. Yeah. The Dragon Tamer again, right?
Yeah.
Like he got a 3 count by like reversing it. But what was the final
that was
fall?
The third fall was that one, I think.
Oh, that was the third fall?
Yeah.
So what was the second? What was the Daniel Bryan's other fall?
That was, hold on. I'm trying to go back.
So Garcia gets 1-0. Then Garcia wastes no time getting to control. I think he got him with like a quick roll up or something. It wasn't so. He did that yoga pose shit, man. What was that? See, like this match was good, but it had stuff in it that was. It
didn't make sense.
I mean, the yoga pose stuff I don't really have a problem with. That's kind of New Japan-y, honestly. I just think that he could have sold it a little better.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say. I can't remember exactly because I missed Daniel Bryan's second fall.
Because I'm looking now. He locks in the label lock. Garcia hits a drop kick, but he shrugs it off. He nails a running knee. I don't know. I don't see where Danielson got
his first fall he got was like real quick and weird because I was driving and watching this, and so I wasn't paying as good of attention as I should have, and I missed that.
Yeah.
Third fall I know was something some kind of like, because I didn't. I honestly thought Daniel Garcia was going to win, but he didn't. And Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson or whatever went over. And then we had the fucking Jericho coming down to attack Bryan Danielson because, we can't ever have anything with Jericho Appreciation Society and Blackpool Combat Club without a run-in.
Of course.
But it was only Jericho, so, at least we got that.
Oh, wait. I mean, you forgot that Moxley came back out and called out CM Punk. That happened before that, right? Hello? You there? I think all right, so Dustin froze up on me. So yeah, so we had John Moxley come back out and he was calling out CM Punk, said, he doesn't want to wait, he wants to do it right now. They get into a scrap again and fight on a little bit.
Yeah, because, they're not going to be able to keep their hands off each other until All Out. So that's why they went ahead and booked that match.
Exactly. What
did you think of let's go back a little bit. What did you think of the chant for Garcia that he's a wrestler?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because that chant almost made me turn that fucking match off. I started to skip to the end when that fucking chant happened because I started to get so mad. I'm like, you're a wrestler. No shit, motherfucker. I'm in a wrestling ring and I'm in wrestling tights and I'm wrestling Daniel Bryan.
No, but he's a sports entertainer.
He's a sports entertainer. No one in AEW.
That's what they were going off of. It was the sports entertainment thing. And that's what Jericho told him. He's like, what are you going to be? You going to be a wrestler or a sports entertainer? You got to make a decision.
And that whole thing is stupid anyway.
And he was talking about it on Rampage tonight, too. He's like, yeah, you're going to see on Dynamite next week, you're going to see what Daniel Garcia decides who he's going to be loyal to, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. I like the guy. I like Daniel Garcia. I don't mind.
I wasn't crazy about him, but this match actually made me realize, because I saw the first match, but I want to see how he works with other people.
Yeah.
Before I get a full scale of what I actually think about him, because it's easy to look good in a ring with Daniel Bryan. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
In regards to that, so I need to see him face somebody who's not a superstar like Bryan and still look good like that. So,
all right. Well, moving on to the next match, we had the Gun Club versus the Varsity Blondes, and it was basically a squash match. They beat the shit out of the Varsity Blondes within a minute, and then fucking Stokely Hathaway comes out, and the fucking ass boys beat the shit out of their own fucking dad.
Sure did.
They started beating on fucking Billy Gunn.
Well, they're going to get their asses spanked for that later on.
Yeah, he said that on Rampage tonight. He's going to spank their ass. He said it. He's going to spank their ass because Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed are back together again.
Scissor me, daddy.
Scissor me, daddy. Ah. Yes, sir. I love that. You were like, I'm probably going to skip this match. I'm like, don't skip it, man. Don't skip it. It's really, really fucking short. And the end is the only thing that you're going to want to see anyways. And they did. They did the fucking scissor thing like 3 times in the middle of the ring, so that was great.
Well, you actually got to see Pac backstage with his championship.
Yeah, I guess he's in the U.S. right now, and we get to be blessed with the greatness that is Will Ospreay and Aussie Open next week.
Oh, yeah. Can't
definitely
wait.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, so they cut a promo talking about their match next week with Aussie Open, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
So we had a Jungle Boy promo after that.
Yeah, and you said today in over text that you don't really think Jungle Boy has good mic skills.
I don't. I think he sucks, honestly.
Yeah, I think he. Well, I was saying earlier, I think he's still kind of young, which is why he had Christian with him. He's still developing those mic skills because it wasn't a terrible promo. It wasn't terrible. Robotic, but
the problem is that he doesn't seem like he means what he says.
Yeah, no, I get that.
That's my criticism of it is he's talking, but he hasn't quite realized
developed that emotion behind it.
He's got to find something that pisses him off and channel that whenever he's trying to do angry promos.
Maybe he just likes Christian so much because they hung out for so long that it's hard for him to be mean to him.
So what was this T-shirt he was talking about he wore that AEW said never to wear again?
Oh, it said Christian is a pussy on it.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was something like that.
Because he called him a pussy in like one of the first promos that he cut on him. And then he wore a shirt that said Christian is a pussy. But they finally fucking went at it. Well, Jungle Boy beat the fucking dog shit out of him.
Yes, he did.
Slammed his head into the stairs like 75 times. I was like, God damn, man, take it easy. But I mean, he was
Actually,
talking
it
shit
says
about
on
his
here,
dead dad.
it says he then bashes Cage's skull into the stairs several times until security comes down to break them apart.
Yeah. Christian said that he wanted him and Jungle Boy to go back to old times, but I guess Jungle Boy wasn't having that. He wasn't.
He wasn't having that.
For talking about his dead dad.
Did you want to talk about Killing King versus Tony Stark?
It's Kylan King.
King, whatever.
Yes, we'll talk about it for a little bit because
you
Tony
can talk
Storm,
about it. I don't give a shit about it.
So, so Tony Storm, she finally named her little finisher move that I love so much, and it's called the Sweet Cheeks music. So,
Sweet Cheeks music,
because she just rams her fucking ass into somebody's face every time. But yeah, she defeated Kylan King. Huh? Yeah, I wish it was me every time. She defeated Kylan King, and she will face her tag team partner Thunder Rosa at All Out. Good match. I enjoy watching Tony Storm wrestle. So
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, yeah. I never seen Tony Stark wrestle. I mean, I don't know how good he would be without his suit. Then we had a promo between Swerve Strickland and Private Party.
That was before that, but
oh, okay. Well, yeah. So they were gonna face each other at Rampage, which I watch Rampage, and Swerve in Our Glory or whatever they're called. They retained. We didn't talk about Jay Lethal fighting Dax Harwood next week.
I guess I'm excited about that.
Well, we did have Satnam Singh tell Wardlow that in his weird, retarded way that he talks, that he's going to beat him.
I'm going to beat you.
I'm going to beat you. Yeah. So, are you excited about Jay Lethal versus Dax Harwood?
Because Marcus says Garcia versus Suzuki on YouTube.
So was Garcia in New Japan?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Marcus is a New Japan expert. He's one of my friends on TikTok. So he is. He stayed up every night. He stayed up every night and watched the G1 at 4 a.m. That's how dedicated.
Hey, my hat's off to you, buddy. That's some dedication there.
I did it once, but it was only because I was up early to fucking drive 5 hours. So,
well, let's move on to the main event. Andrade El Idolo, Dragon Lee,
return of Kenny Omega
versus the Young Bucks and their mystery partner, who turned out to be the cleaner. Kenny Omega,
and his fucking
Callis.
Do they introduce him like that every time he comes to the ring?
Mostly, yeah.
Well, that was fucking. I love that. They fucking listed every single accomplishment that he's ever had, and it was good to see him back. I only got a little bit of a taste of Kenny Omega when I got back into wrestling, and then he went out with his injuries. So
yeah, and sadly, before Omega went out, you actually finally started to get good Omega stuff in AEW, because his early AEW stuff was not that good. But the latter stuff was getting a lot better because he was becoming more of that heel Kenny Omega character that everyone likes, because Kenny Omega just doesn't work well as a face because
kind of
I don't
like what
know.
you said about the Young Bucks,
Yeah,
about how
it just doesn't
they're just
work.
better as heels. It's kind of the same with Punk. Like he's really just a better heel, man. That is
Yeah.
who he is, man.
Like they can have those occasional like face moments, but they really need to be heels. But how did you think Kenny looked overall in this match?
I think he looked a little bit rusty, but he looked good for someone that's been out for 10 months.
I think some of the ring rust stuff was intentional.
Like it was,
Like I told you.
yeah. I mean, I get that. I can see that for sure. Play it up a little bit. Plus, he's kind of
Like for example, when he did the thing where he slams him forward, like he does like a what's the fucking he jumps forward with him and then he immediately comes off of him, does a backflip off the top rope and does a moonsault onto him.
yeah.
He botched that one, but I think that was an intentional botch.
I mean, it makes sense. The dude can't come back after 10 months being out 10 months and just look amazing.
Oh, but he will. You did get to see. You did say you loved that Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan match.
That's one of
Brian
my favorite.
Daniel.
Yeah,
Brian
that's probably
Danielson
like
match.
in my top 5 matches of all time.
It was
Like
a good match.
that was really like my first time I ever watched AEW, and that was the first ever AEW match I ever watched, and I was fucking blown away.
And then it went all downhill from there.
I mean, I stuck with it, and finally it's dead. Like it says in the title, it's definitely worth watching again. But did you go back and watch that promo I told you to watch
I did.
And where he compared the AEW fans to the fucking cat that shits on the floor?
Yes. Pretty good comparison if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're kind of like the fucking cat that shits and pisses on the floor, but it's like, how can I be mad at a little kitty cat? That's AEW fans in a nutshell, and I am an AEW fan. I'm just not a big giant mark yet, I guess.
I am a semi AEW fan. I like
My
it because
thing
it's
is, I'm a
wrestling.
fan. I'm not afraid to criticize the fucking product. Man.
Yeah, actually, that's what I'd say about me too. I like AEW. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't watch it at all. But it's like you said, man. Like the problem with their fan base is you can't criticize it, man. Any little criticism you give, and they're like, "Oh, you're just a fucking hater." No,
oh, you must love WWE, and it's like
fucking
no.
wrestling gatekeepers.
Yeah, like I like AEW better than WWE. I just am not afraid to fucking say if something sucks or if it doesn't. I don't really watch WWE because I think the product isn't that great. Like
Looks like Dustin froze up on me again here. But yeah, Dustin's definitely the bigger AEW fan between us two. I like it, but to me, it's probably I'd say it's definitely under New Japan. New Japan is my top show. I go back and forth between which I like better between AEW and Raw. It all depends on what's going on. The Roman Reigns stuff really pulls me in on Raw, so I basically watch, or SmackDown rather, so I basically watch just for that. But I'm a WWE fan for over 30 years, so my loyalties will always be with them in some way. But looks like Dustin had some issues, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end the show. We were about to wrap it up anyway. Keep watching our stream for our WWE Universe streams. We do those quite often, actually. Dustin has his universe that he has a bunch of people from the TikTok in, and my universe is mostly just basic wrestlers with a few creative people, me, Dustin, and a couple friends of mine. But it's a lot in it's got New Japan added and AEW, and every couple of months on the calendar on it, I do like a Worlds Collide event to where all the brands have matches in one event. But there's Dustin back. I was just wrapping up the show.
we can. Oh, I did watch Rampage and SmackDown so that you don't have to, and I will say that
is it worth watching?
Roman is on SmackDown.
I'll watch
this
then.
week. So, but it's a cutting a promo and it's towards the end. There's some good stuff on there, but it's nothing that, I mean, Definitely.
I'll do like I always do with SmackDown. I'll watch his promo, and that's all I'll care about.
Rampage was okay. It was all right, but it's Rampage. You know, Rampage is, I don't know what they do with that fucking show, but yeah.
Well, before we head out of here, I want to plug our other podcast that we do, the Slackercast, every Tuesday evening, usually around 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Yep.
Next week's, we've been doing top 10 list again. Next week's list is going to be our top 10 post-dystopian future movies. So that should be a fun one. And then I think after that one, we're doing top 10 hot chicks.
I thought we were doing the stud list.
No, we're doing the studs again. That's right.
The stud list.
We're bringing the stud list back.
But we're not doing that while I'm in Texas, okay? You're going to fucking wait.
So we may have to push it back. We'll see. Well, we'll figure it out. But that's the show. So until next time.
Keep it kayfabe, because kayfabe still exists.
It does exist, so keep it